Hi there, welcome again to our YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about one of the type of task 1 in the IELTS writing. So we'll be talking about the bar chart today, how to write it and all. First of all, let's have a look at what we're going to learn in this video today. How to understand the bar graph. This is what we're going to do in the beginning, and the correct structure. We learn the structure of the bar graph writing. How to write an effective introduction. So we learn how to write an introduction, an overall statement, okay, and select and compare the data given. And also we will learn about the vocabularies, okay, the trends and the numbers, how to write them. And finally, we will write a complete bar chart, with the answers step by step. So without any further delay, let's start talking about the bar graph. Now, how to understand the bar graph. This is the first thing. Now, in here, it's very important to understand that, you don't have to write each and every numbers and values, given in the bar graph. That's not the goal. Okay, so if you read here, this is not your job to describe every single number. Instead, you just need to identify the main features and make the meaningful comparisons. So as I said, we don't have to write every value or every number. We have to talk about the main features, whatever you think are the significant features. You have to talk about those and do some comparisons if possible, right? Now, these are the things that you must be careful of. The highest figure, the lowest figure, the major increase or decrease, any similarities or differences, and the most significant changes. Now, these are some observations that you have to do, right? These observations will actually help you to write an effective and a perfect Band 8 writing. Before we start, let's have a look at the structure. Now, if you have a look here, there are 4 paragraphs that we have to write. Okay. First one is the introduction, in which we just simply paraphrase the question statement. Next is the overall statement, right, in which we summarize the main trends. Remember this, we never provide any detailed information in the overall. Okay. And next is the first body and the second body. So whatever the data is given to you in the bar graph, you just divide the data into 2 parts, first half in the first body, second half in the second body, right? And of course, we have to compare the data, okay, talk about the important data as well. Now, sometimes some students, they write the overall statement, not here, but at the end. That is also okay. There's no problem with that, right? So as long as you are writing the overall, that matters. Now, you don't have to write a conclusion in the task 1. Remember, in the task 2, yes, we have to, but in the task 1, we don't have to write any conclusion, okay? Let's take an example to explain you the structure. So this is an example that we're going to do today. Now, let's try to understand, first of all, that they're talking about the adults exercising at least once a week. And there are 4 age categories given here. You can pause the video and just have a look at it, okay? Now, these are the numbers given in the form of percentage. So basically, they are saying the people who are doing exercise at least once a week, the percentage of those individuals is given here, right? If I had to read this bar graph, I'll read like this. See, 45% of the people who did exercise at least once a week in 2000 were from 18 to 29 of the age group, right? Similarly, 65% of the people who did exercise at least once a week in 2020 were from the same age group, 18 to 29. Similarly, this age group and this age group and this age group, right? Now, this is how we understand this. Now, let's try to find out the main key points here. Now, as you can have a look, this is one age group, second age group, third, and the fourth. Now, this is 45, 65, and if you have a look at other numbers, they are less than this one. So this is basically the age group with the highest values. So this is the highest one. So highest is 18 to 29, as you can look here. Now, what is the lowest one? This is the lowest one, right? This is the lowest one. And as you can have a look here, see, this is the blue one is 2000, and this is the orange one is 2020. Now from here, blue one to the orange, all the numbers have increased. See, all the numbers have increased, right? So all the age groups increased, which is correct. And what is the biggest increase? So if you look here to here, the numbers almost doubled. Not almost, actually, exactly, they have doubled, right? So this is the biggest jump. Okay, so these are some basic things that we have to note down before we even start writing the bar graph, right? I hope it is clear that how to understand the bar graph. Okay, now let's move on to how to write an introduction. So going back to the structure again, see this is the structure, right? So we're gonna learn how to write the introduction first. So if you have a look here, so to write the introduction, what do we have to do is, see this is the question statement. Okay, we simply have to paraphrase the question statement. Now, I hope you understand the meaning of paraphrase. So, paraphrase basically means writing the statement using different words, but the meaning remains the same. Now, as you can look here, the meaning of this and this sentence is the same, right? But we have changed some words. For example, I've said the bar chart compares the proportion of adults in 4 age groups who are exercised at least once a week in 2000 and 2020. Okay, so I've changed few words here, but I made sure the meaning does not change. Now, whenever you're writing introduction, see, this is something going to be very helpful for you. So most of the time, you will encounter these words. So you can change these words like this. These are some important tips for you. Please go through it. Okay. You can pause the video, take a screenshot. Now, I hope the introduction is clear. So it's simply paraphrasing of question statement. Moving on to the next one, which is if we go back to the structure here. Next is the overall statement, overview. Now, in the overall statement, what do we have to do is we have to write at least 2 to 3 main features, right? In the main features, we talk about what is increasing, what is decreasing, what is highest, what is lowest, right? We never write any numbers. We are not going to write 45, 65, all these numbers. They are not to be written in the overall statement. Remember this. Okay. Now, if you have a look at this overall statement here, overall, the proportion of adults who exercised regularly increased across all 4 age groups between 2000 and 2020. The youngest age group recorded the highest figures in both years, while the oldest age group consistently had the lowest rates. So I just talked about 2 main features, which is the first one was that all the numbers increased from this to this here, right? And the highest was this and the lowest was this, right? So I've covered these. I've not given any number. Remember, I've not given any detailed information in the overall. Okay. So remember this, just write 2 to 3 main features, and then that'll be the perfect overall statement. Best formula for the overall statement is talk about what is the highest, lowest, or something, what is increasing or what is decreasing, right? This will get you the best overall statement. Now, going back to the structure again. So we are done with the introduction, done with the overall. Now, to 2 body paragraphs. Now, what we have to do is whenever you are making 2 body paragraphs, the first thing is that you divide the data into 2 parts. So, for example, if you have to make 2 body paragraphs, okay, and here we can see we are given 4 age groups. So maybe we can talk about the first 2 in the first body, these 2 age groups in the second body. Why we want to divide the data? To make it more organized. Now, in the body paragraphs, you are allowed to do any comparison, write any numbers. Okay, there's no limit. There is no limit on what you can write and what you cannot write. So explain as much as you can in the body paragraph. Now, if we have a look at this first body paragraph, they're saying looking first at the younger age groups, 45% of adults aged 20 and 29 exercise at least once a week. So which is this one, 45% exercised once a week from this age group, right? Compared to with 40% of those aged 30, 39. So this is here. Now moving on, by 2020, these figures means these 2 figures, this one and this one, that's what we're talking about. These 2 figures had risen to 65% and 60% respectively. So as we can 65% and 60% respectively. Now, why I use the word respectively? Because that means the first value goes to the first one, second value goes to the second one. Okay. And therefore, the youngest group remained slightly ahead in both the years. So I've done a bit of a comparison here as well. So I talked about these two age categories. I have written down all the numbers, which are important, and I've done a bit of a comparison as well. And I've used the connecting word as well. So this is a good body paragraph. And I've also tried not to repeat much vocabularies. Okay. So this is the first body paragraph in this one. Now, for the second one, we'll just talk about these two age categories. So if you have a look here, this is the second body paragraph. Now, okay. Now they're saying a similar pattern can be seen among older age groups. Now, as we can see here, these age groups are also showing the same patterns like these first two age groups. In 2000, the proportions of adults aged 40 to 49 and 50 to 59 were 35% and 25%. So this one here and this one here. These figures increased to 55% and 50% in 2020, 55 and 50. And notably, the oldest age group experienced the largest rise, doubling from 25 to 50%. I've done a bit of comparison as well, that it has almost doubled, right? So this is what we have to do. We have to cover all the essential data and do comparison in the body paragraph. Now, the next thing I want to tell you guys is the essential vocabulary, for the writing task one. If you can have a look, see if you want to write something increasing, you can say it increase, rose, grew, climb. Same for the decreasing, similarly for stability and for comparison. You can take a screenshot of this, please. So far, we have learned how to write a bar graph, right? So basically, what should we do to write a bar graph? It is also very important to understand what we should not do while writing the bar graph. Now, have a look at this. So these are some common mistakes that students do. So in this one, we should not describe every number separately. Now, as I said, that whenever we have a bar graph, okay, we should not talk about all the numbers. Just talk about the important numbers, the features, and that's it. And do some comparisons as well. Group and compare the data. So group the numbers and then compare the data, right? Next one is don't give your opinion. Now, task one is about describing the information. So you just have to talk about the data that is given. Never ever give your own opinion. That's a bad strategy. Okay, next one is don't forget the overview. Of course, when we write the overall statement or the overview right after the introduction, we should never ever forget that. This is very, very, very important. It's one of the most important parts of your answers, right? And the next one is don't write a conclusion. Of course, in the task one, we don't write the conclusion. It's for the task two, we write the conclusion, right? So in the task one, whenever you are writing a bar graph, pie chart, table, okay, anything, we never write a conclusion. You write overview that already summarize the main features. That's it. And the last one is don't use complicated vocabulary unnecessarily. So don't make the things complicated for yourself and for the examiner as well. Okay, use clear, accurate language to make the important things more clear rather than using the difficult words to make the sentences unnatural. Now, this is how our complete task one is going to look like. So this will be the introduction, overall statement. This is the first body and the second body paragraph, right? So I hope you have understood how to write a bar graph. If you still have any questions, please feel free to drop me in the comments below. I would love to answer your questions. Thank you for your time today, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.